He hit safely in 7 of his last 9, but only a 265 average. He has had 7 or more hits in 7 of 9 games. On the season, he's hitting 286 against right-handed pitching. He's just a cheap price, $3,800, and he's a barreler, a hard hit rate guy. Other options at second base are Whit Merrifield. Kansas City's at Detroit. He's $4,800. Ozzie Albies for Atlanta at Baltimore, $4,400. And Ty France, who didn't get a hit yesterday, but he has been hot of late. Seattle's playing San Francisco, again, because that's the same game as Dylan Moore against Tyler Anderson, and Ty France is only $4,000. Third base, here you go. Maikel Franco. Yeah, Maikel Franco. Now, he's $4,100. And we know Franco can be of the many streaks, good ones and bad ones. But he's facing Matt Boyd today. He's riding a 4-game hit streak, and he's hit safely in 10 of his last 11 games. And over those 11 games, he's hitting .391 with a .403 on base average, and a very impressive for Franco, only 12% strikeout rate. Franco is hitting .379 with a .393 on base average against left-handed pitching this season. And, of course, Boyd is a left-handed pitcher. And Boyd is letting right-handed hitters hit .336 with a .447 on base average. 3.1 homers per 9. Franco and the Royals are a sneaky, cheap, nice stack tonight against Matt Boyd. And his shortstop partner, Alberto Mondesi, is in the same boat at $3,800. Mondesi's a switch hitter. We know he steals a lot of bases. He was having a season to forget until 10 games ago, and suddenly his bats must have had some energy, some 5-hour energy poured on them. I don't know. But in the last 10 games, he's hit safely in 9 for a .308 average and has 8 stolen bases in those 10 games. Also in those 10 games, he's hit 4 home runs. He's barreled the ball 17% of the time and has a 48% hard hit rate. He's hitting for average, he's stealing bases, flexing his muscle, hitting the ball out of the park. His price is up a little bit, $3,800, but he is a great option at a top-heavy shortstop position. Other options, Trevor Story. Colorado's playing Oakland, $5,600. Talk about some outfielders. How about Kevin Pillar going up at Colorado today against Sean Monae of the Oakland A's? Sean Monae has had a good string of starts lately, but sadly he's not pitched at Coors in any of those. And now he's trying to keep that streak going at Coors Field. Now, Pillar has hit safely in 3 of his last 5 games in Coors with 2 extra base hits. On the season, he's hitting .306 against left-handed pitching. So I just think at the price you can get Kevin Pillar, let's see, I'm looking, $4,100. Good, cheap price. Michael Brantley for Houston against Kyle Cody. Brantley is a good hitter. .308 average. 55% hard hit rate. He hits in the middle of that Astros lineup. Cody's not thrown more than 3 innings or 55 pitches in any appearance this year. So Brantley and the Astros will get him for probably 1 trip through the lineup and then a shaky Rangers bullpen. Load up on Astros. That's a great call for today. Load up on Astros. And have you been noticing DJ Stewart lately for the Orioles? You know, DJ Stewart, $2,400. They don't get hardly any cheaper than that. But DJ Stewart for the Orioles, he's hit safely in 8 of his last 10. Good for a .394 average. He also has 7 home runs in that same span. And his quality of contact is even crazier. He's been barreling the ball 38% of the time, 52% hard hit rate. And he has a great match tonight against Genoa tonight for Atlanta. Stewart, great pickup. Between Stewart in the outfield and my catcher option that I gave you, Sean Murphy, those are two great places to start with your DFS today. One at $2,400, the other at $3,900. So you're going to have two players, $6,300, which is going to leave you with around $43,000 to make bids on other players. So take that, go back and watch this again if you're playing daily fantasy baseball. Pick up these guys that are values. You will not be disappointed on this Tuesday. So, let's talk a little NFL. Week 1 wrapped up last night. Pittsburgh wins. And the late game at Denver, Tennessee beats the Broncos 16-14. Takeaways from that sort of blend into what I want to talk about on the waiver wire for fantasy. Running back. I guess if you watched the game last night, and I have him on my team, he cost me a win. If James Conner plays the whole game last night, I'm 1-0. James Conner goes out in the second quarter, I'm 0-1. I lose by 1.5 points. If James Conner plays, I win. James Conner can't stay healthy. So now he's out. Sprained ankle or something. Don't know if he'll play this week or not. We'll have to watch reports on James Conner. But in your waiver wires, here are some players, and I'm going to tell you the order in which I would pick them up. I was hoping my buddy Kurt Hinton be watching this morning. Kurt and I had a discussion yesterday, and I'm changing it around on you, Kurt. So hopefully you're watching a little bit this morning. But here are some players. On Sunday, Marlon Mack ruptures his Achilles. He's out for the season. All of a sudden, Nyheim Hines, he of the North Carolina State Wolfpack alum, is now a fantasy darling. And he played really well Sunday. Malcolm Brown, Joshua Kelly, James Robinson, and Benny Snell. Benny Snell, the handcuff in Pittsburgh. Here's how I'm ranking those 5. And I think all 5 should be added in any format. Got that? Particularly deep leagues. Number 1 waiver wire pickup at running back for this week is Benny Snell of the Pittsburgh Steelers. First of all, Benny Snell has really trimmed down the fat, no doubt. Lost some weight. Last night he gained over 100 yards, coming in the second quarter in relief of James Conner. And if Conner's out Sunday, then it only means a full load for Benny Snell. He's not, and I'm going to differentiate him from these other ones because of that. He's on a winning team. He's going to get all the touches. He may get replaced for a few downs. But if he plays Sunday and Conner is out, he's going to get 85% of all the carries. He got 115 yards last night in a backup role. He's my number 1 fantasy target in fantasy football this week. My number 2 is Nyheim Hines. Now, before last night, Hines would have been my number 1 pickup. He's going to catch a lot of passes. Phillip Rivers is a drop-down quarterback. He throws to his running backs is what that means. Rivers is not going to stay in that pocket long. He can't move at all. So he's going to drop down to running backs. And when Nyheim Hines is in the lineup, he's going to catch a lot of passes. And if you're in a half-point or full-point PPR league, then Nyheim Hines is golden. Now, he won't be your starting back. But if he's on your waiver wire, and I'm only talking waiver wires this morning. We'll talk more about who to start on Thursday. But, certain players aren't going to be on your waiver wire. The Colts starter is not on your waiver wire. But Nyheim Hines may be. He's my number 2 ad for the week. Number 3, James Robinson, Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, am I carried away with the Jags? No. But am I carried away with starting running backs in the NFL who are the number 1 guy who are going to get the majority of the touches? Oh, yes, I am. James Robinson, rookie running back for Jacksonville, played well on Sunday. He's going to be the number one runner in that offense. And for that reason, he is my number 3 waiver wire priority this week. Which leaves me with Malcolm Brown and Joshua Kelly. I'm going to take Malcolm Brown at number 4 for the Rams. And I'm going to do that because, number one, he's going to get a lot of goal line work. That's going to be a shared duty job right now, as is Joshua Kelly. But I think Brown and Kelly will both get touches, both get green zone. I'm going to call it green zone, not red zone, because you make your money green in the zone. So in the green zone, Malcolm Brown and Joshua Kelly are going to get a lot of touches. Good morning, Lenny. It's good to see you. Good job this morning earlier. So those are my waiver wire ads at running back for this week. Now, I don't know. I think it's critical. There are other injuries that you got to keep an eye on. Don't know if any of you guys are Greg Kittle owners. He sprained his knee against the Cardinals in the first half on Sunday, but he played the whole second half. So he's listed as questionable, but it looks to me like him playing the second half is a sure sign he's not going to miss any time. So I don't put a lot of worry into Mr. Kittle this morning. Another player, though, I want to throw at you before we sign off today is Jerick McKinnon of the San Francisco 49ers. In my Yahoo League last week, he scored 11.9 points. Got a touchdown. He rushed 3 times for 24 yards. He caught 3 balls for 20 yards and a touchdown. Now, why McKinnon? Because Garoppolo showed Sunday he is a drop down to his running back and tight end kind of quarterback. He's not looking down the field. He's looking to his running backs. And I know Raheem Mostert is the number 1 back in San Francisco. But McKinnon showed on Sunday he's number 2. And if you recall, I've said this before, McKinnon was the number 1 back headed into camp 2 years ago and suffered a season-ending injury. He's back now, fully healthy. He's going to be used a lot in third down situations. He's going to catch a lot of passes. If you're in a half-point, full-point PPR, Jerick McKinnon is a great ad. So that's where we are on this Tuesday. It's great to be with you today. I'll be back on Thursday. I will not be on tonight, but I will be back Thursday morning. We'll talk more football. We'll talk more baseball. The season's winding down. It's really getting exciting, and I love the Marlins. Sixto Loscano, loving the guy. Yeah. Sixto Sanchez. Sixto Loscano played for the Brewers. Just throwing you there one. How about that? See if you're paying attention on Tuesday morning. So we'll be talking to you again Thursday morning here on Lenny Millick Fantasy Sports, Arnie's Fantasy World of Sports. Everybody have a great Tuesday.